The United Nations International Court of Justice has started its much-awaited proceedings. South Africa has filed a case against Israel for committing genocide against Palestinians.
The court meets today and will meet tomorrow under Article 74, Paragraph 3 of the Rules of Court to hear the oral observations of the parties on the request for the indication of provisional measures submitted by the Republic of South Africa in the case concerning application of the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide in the Gaza Strip, South Africa versus Israel.
The accusations include Israel failing to uphold its obligations under the 1948 Genocide Convention. South Africa has cited Israel's failure to provide essential food, water, medicine, fuel, shelter and other humanitarian assistance to the Gaza Strip. Both South Africa and Israel are party to the Genocide Convention. The convention obliges its signatories not to commit genocide and also to prevent and punish it. The treaty defines genocide as acts committed with intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnic, racial or religious group. The hearings will deal exclusively with South Africa's request for emergency measures ordering Israel to suspend its military actions in Gaza. A panel of 17 judges, including one ad hoc justice each from Israel and South Africa, are hearing each side's arguments. The court will also be hearing the merits of the case, a process which could likely take years. As the hearing began, protests sparked in The Hague, supporting both the Palestinian cause as well as Israel. Pro-Israeli protests waved Israeli flags and held the pictures of hostages who were abducted by Hamas militants on the 7th of October. On the other hand, supporters of Palestinians came out in large numbers before the premises of the ICJ and waved flags of Palestine.
Comrades, please, head this way. Thank you so much. Come with me, please. Thank you.
For more on this, we are being joined by our correspondent, Calden Ongmo. Calden, what more can you tell us about the case?
So currently, if you are watching the live proceedings from Hague, Netherlands, South Africa is making the oral submissions. For South Africa's advocate Adila Hassan, actually she just finished delivering South Africa's opening argument. South Africa, the team has come prepared with maps, pictures, videos to support their submission to the ICJ. After her, another advocate, Nkoi Toby from South Africa, is now currently busy presenting their submissions to the court. So basically what Advocate Adila Hassan for South Africa at the ICJ, she laid out, following alleged contraventions by Israel of Genocide Convention. So she went on to mention the first genocidal act, that is killing and targeting of Palestinians in Gaza. She also mentioned the second genocidal act, inflicting bodily and mental harm on Palestinians. She went on to describe the third genocidal act that Israel is imposing on people in Gaza, saying that imposing conditions on Gaza that cannot sustain life and calculated to bring about their destructions. So she also spoke about how there is a military assault on Gaza healthcare system, making life of people there, including reproductive life, very unsustainable. So they've been showing evidence of videos that have been coming out every day. Advocate Nkaitobi also going on to quote President Netanyahu, saying that they will not stop this until, that they have removed all the Hamas from Gaza, and also stating that recently the President of Israel made a statement that they will continue this for the rest of the year, that's 2024. So as we're watching the live proceedings, we can see the South African side making their oral submissions. We do know they've been given 3 hours today. Tomorrow, the Israeli team will be making their oral submissions as well.
Yes, Calden, also do take us through the mood of the nation at this point in time, as protests also are raging on at The Hague, and also take us through what are you hearing from the people out there in Johannesburg.
Of course, South Africans, the most South Africans, I can say as of now, in solidarity standing on with the government, stating that South Africa is standing on the right side of the history of humanity. Most of the experts, not just in South Africa, but also internationally, saying that South Africa is standing for humanity and not just, for political reasons. South Africa and Palestinians, they have been in brotherhood since decades. The support for Palestinians by the ANC-led government in South Africa did not just start on October 7th. For decades, over 7 decades, they've been friends with Palestinian people, from your former President Nelson Mandela to currently ANC-led government. They have been supporting Palestinians very, wholeheartedly. They've been supporting Palestinians. And since the start of this war, if you can remember, South Africa has taken a host of, decisions that they've made, even calling out, they've recalled the diplomats from Israel. They even have another, actually, case going on at the ICC, stating that against Israeli President Netanyahu, saying he is, committing crimes in Gaza Strip. So there's a host of other decisions that South Africans have taken against Israel. Now, as far as the South African public is concerned, if you go on social media, you will only see support for Palestinian people. But you must not forget that South Africa does have a community of Jewish people who actually last month met with President Cyril Ramaphosa, pleading him to stop supporting Hamas. And President Cyril Ramaphosa was very vocal about stating that they have condemned the attack of Hamas on October 7th, but over and above that, South Africa will always support Palestinians. If they do not support, South Africa will be a hypocritical country, because South Africa cannot let another country go through what South Africa did during the apartheid era. So South Africa will always support that. Even if you go again back on social media, like I can say, you'll see a host of Palestinians from all over the world actually have gathered there at the Hague, Netherlands, supporting and saying thank you to South Africa for at least having a fight to stand up against Israel when many countries are not doing that. But over the last few weeks, since South Africa announced that they're taking Israel to ICJ, you've seen a host of other countries, civil societies, NGOs coming forward to support this application put forward by South Africa.
Indeed, we will be tracking those developments very closely as South Africa takes this case forward at The Hague. Our correspondent Jody Cohen also gets Israel's perspective from Anna. Let's take a look.
Right, so if you look at the definition of international law, it says that genocide means the deliberate killing of a large group of people with the aim of destroying that group. Now, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, which is a 57-member bloc, they voiced their support for this case against Israel, claiming that it has committed genocide against the Gazans. Now, Israel's allies are suggesting that the claims of genocide are without any basis in fact, and US Secretary of State Antony Blinken has said that it's particularly galling as Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis and Iran openly call for the annihilation of Israel and Jews around the world. Now, he said that Israel has a right to prevent a repeat of the 7th of October massacre, which Hamas has said it wants to commit again and again. British Foreign Secretary Cameron agrees with him and said he doesn't agree with the South African case and suggested that it's wrong to, in his words, bandy around words like genocide.